sand which has been brought here from Aston Villa, who've had problems getting their pitch presentable. Mark Hateley won't mind what sort of surface, just as long as he's back after that nasty thigh injury that took longer to clear up perhaps than anticipated, and as Gordon McQueen was saying earlier, kept him out of the representative reckoning as England put out a senior side and a B side last week. Well, we await the arrival of Willie Miller in the Aberdeen dugout. He was a hard man on the field, Gordon. Will he be a tough manager?
Well, you never can tell, because obviously being a great player doesn't necessarily mean you become a great manager, but certainly Willie Miller was certainly a determined player, and I'm sure he'll bring that into management, and I would expect him to have a success with Aberdeen.
Well, there's so many cup ties on view at the moment. We ought to remind you that tonight it's for league points in the Premier Division. And if Rangers were to win here, they would go 6 points clear of Hearts at the top. And by a quirk of fate, Hearts play Celtic on Saturday, and a Celtic win, if Rangers win tonight, could actually give their old rivals a really firm grip on the closing stages of the season. Here's Hateley. McCoist. Played back by McKimmie. Theo Snilders in the Aberdeen goal. Gary Smith in the centre of defence. Alec McLeish is still out injured. How Willie Miller, I'm sure, would have loved to have been able to field his old defensive partner. But I was speaking to Alec a little while ago. He believes he'll be out for another month or so with a foot problem. Brian Irvin. The chasing from Booth.
Aberdeen have actually switched the back four round a little bit. As I mentioned pre-match there, Gary Smith normally plays in the right-sided role of the centre half or at right back. They've in actual fact got young Stephen Wright over at the left back position, and Gary Smith in the centre of defence.
And Stephen Wright intercepting there, crucially for Aberdeen. This young man was in the Scotland squad last week, but he had to pull out at the last minute of a place on the bench because of an injury. Booth stopped on the edge of the area. Jim Bett. How the pitch will play is an important factor, considering the amount of rain that fell in Glasgow on Saturday, when a number of games in the west of Scotland were washed out. Ian Ferguson making his presence felt here around his opposite number, Jim Bett.
Yeah, well, Jim Bett getting a bit of the bird from the crowd there, because I think the Rangers supporters know what a good player he is and what an influential player he is for Aberdeen, and of course I think he's Rangers player as well.
And a former Rangers man in the early 80s. Some speculation a year or so ago that he might be coming back here again for a second spell. So, Willie Miller settles into his seat and a new career in management. McKimmie into the feet of Jess. Booth, they're very nippy up front, and Jess has the shot beaten away, put back by Paul Kane, but off target. Well, there's the first sign of this almost precocious talent that Jess has.
Yeah, that was a lovely little turn here, and really thunders this one against the... Yes, it's blocked away by Andy Gorham in actual fact. It's an early indication of Aberdeen's ambitions to come here and win this game tonight.
Well, only the particularly partisan old firm clashes between Rangers and Celtic have carried more weight than Aberdeen's games at Ibrox over the last 10 years or so. This fixture really has produced a catalogue of top-class contests, and the early signs are very promising again. It's Stevens. Maybe with Hateley in mind, but he couldn't pick him out. Houstra trying to keep the ball. Robertson too for Rangers. Here's John Brown. Tenkat blocked it. Bett playing on the retreat, but doing it surely and very much his trademark down the years. Ten-Cat. So we've got Ten-Cat and Snelders for Aberdeen, their two Dutchmen. Peter Houstra for Rangers, but no Hans Hielhaus, who hasn't had a particularly solid season. Brown's header. Brian Grant, a strong character in Aberdeen's midfield. Brown takes the free kick. Well by Irvine. Brown tries again. Here's Gordon. Ferguson making a terrific run infield of him, taking defenders with him. Houstra, but dispossessed by Grant. Here's McKimmie, who played for Scotland last week. Pulled in when Paul McStay dropped out with injury against Northern Ireland. Kane, nicely taken by Jess. Jess and Booth have had an understanding built at youth level. And one always felt, Gordon, over the last couple of years, that they would become the first-choice pairing on a regular basis here. Yeah, well, he is a player that's come on leaps and bounds. There's a lovely through ball there from Paul Kane, and his control was really delightful. Right, Ten-Cat. So far, the pitch is playing very well. Ten-Cat trying to use it to his advantage. This is Kane. That's a foul by Spackman. With 6 minutes gone, Rangers against Aberdeen. You're seeing it live here on Sky Sports for Premier League points in Scotland, rearranged from Saturday. Well, Andy Gorham has set his wall. Ten-Cat. Well, it beat the full dive from Andy Gorham, but also beat the post. I tell you, that one had Andy Gorham worried. It's a terrific strike by Ten-Cat, very close indeed. Andy Gorham at full stretch, and thankfully for him, just slipped past the post. But they've got a few free kick specialists, Aberdeen, Jim Bett, that rolled the ball to Ten-Cat, and of course Paul Kane on the right-hand side of midfield as well. Actually rolled it into a very good shooting position, wide of the wall, and possibly Rangers were a bit slow to recognise the danger there and come out and try and close Ten-Cat down. Hopefully, he's a very popular character here now, and was in a particularly good vein of form when he collected the injury. George Smith, the referee, just checking on the condition of Brian Irvine, who'd gone down with an injury, but like the resolute character he is, he's picked himself up without any treatment, got back in position. Gary Smith alongside him, cleared. Here's Brown. Ferguson. Hately waiting at the far post as Gordon's cross only strikes Smith. Well, I felt that was a little opportunity there. I mean, Ian Ferguson rolled the ball out to Dale Gordon, but he's got a terrific right-footed shot, Ian Ferguson. I thought he might have had a pop at goal there. Goff has joined the attacking forces at the corner. Watched by Irvine. What it has meant is that Irvine, who's the tallest defender, isn't covering Hately. The ball doesn't reach Mark Hately. McKimmie actually had the responsibility for watching the Rangers number 10. Gordon. And that's a goal kick. There are plans here to do a spot of mid-season reseeding on the Ibrox pitch after next Saturday's game, providing Rangers don't have a cup replay. There would be 3 clear weeks without a major match in the stadium, and they're very concerned, Rangers, understandably, to have a playing surface in keeping with the quality of everything else at Ibrox. Here's Jess. He's got plenty of quality of his own. Robertson rather, with Houstra ahead of him down the line. Irvin's header. David Robertson, of course, a former Aberdeen player, was signed last summer. And he has now become an international for Scotland. Only 23, born in Aberdeen and educated in the game by Aberdeen FC. Goff. It's gone all the way through.
Well, it's been a reasonably promising start for Willie Miller, because Aberdeen have looked dangerous a couple of times on the attack, whereas I know it's only early in the game so far, but Rangers haven't.
But Aberdeen do have a very good record here, and of course they have been an outstanding club side through the 80s with Alec Ferguson, then Ian Porterfield, and then the recently departed Alex Smith, creating sides capable of winning trophies. Down goes McCoist. Rangers take the free kick quickly. Smith wants to let it run. McCoist wasn't having any of that and has forced the corner.
It's always a dangerous thing to do that when you've got a determined character like Ali McCoist breathing down your neck. Try and let the ball roll out for a goal kick.
Ali McCoist well aware that he needs 1 goal for his 200 in his league career, most of them with Rangers. Gordon's corner, solidly away by Grant. Everybody apart from Gorham in the Aberdeen half. Stevens for Spackman. Aberdeen holding their line, but they haven't picked up Gordon. And in the end, they were rather fortunate that that rolled comfortably as Gordon tried to cross it. And the pace was taken off it. Snelders was not troubled.
It was a nice little ball that David Robertson slipped into Dale Gordon, just turned on it, but fortunately for Aberdeen, there were enough players behind the ball, and it was a poor cross straight into Theo Snelders' hands.
Gordon back on the right now, but cropping up down a left central channel and catching Aberdeen out by doing that. Houstra. Robertson advancing, but not finding Haitley, who rather ruefully turns away, as does David Robertson. Well, Rangers' recent record shows that they're almost irresistible. The last 12 league games, 11 wins and a draw. Last 14 in league and cup, 13 wins and a draw. Superb statistics that really show their supremacy. But Aberdeen, having heard Willie Miller's first team talk before a major match under his charge, they have been using some of the first team squad in reserve and a local county cup. Not that he doesn't know everything there is to know about them after his long service at the club. He was a coach, of course, before he succeeded Alex Smith. And before that, a player of wonderful resolution and defensive strength. 65 appearances for Scotland. And some 800-plus competitive games for Aberdeen. Born in Glasgow, though. Tenkat. Off hard and fairly on Jess. Bet got the ball back quickly enough for Aberdeen. Aberdeen haven't played since the 8th of February, 17 days, due to They're being knocked out of the Scottish Cup by Rangers at Pittodrie, and due to last Saturday's postponement. Tenkat. Here's Jess, coming from behind is McKimmie. Well, that was a fine position for a cross, and I must say, one expected Stuart McKimmie to do better then.
Yes, he got forward well. I think this has happened at both ends of the pitches now. They've got into good attacking situations, but the quality of the crossing so far has been rather poor.
Willie Miller, I'm sure, believing that it would be wrong to make too many drastic changes straight away, but he'll have his own views, and as the next few weeks pass, I'm sure we'll see perhaps more evidence of those than in this match. Wright getting there before Gordon. This is Robertson. Stephen Wright there again. Nicely down by Booth. Well, it was a fine idea. Jess went for the return. Was possibly a little disappointed it didn't come his way, but Teo Tenkat was lurking on the left. Booth couldn't quite find the right pass to him.
Yeah, I think Booth was looking for a little 1-2 with his striking partner there, but he tried to switch play a little bit over to Tenkat, but Gary Stevens cut it out. Good positioning with the defender.
Irvin taking a ride on the back of Haitley with 15 minutes gone. And the Rangers trying to catch Aberdeen on the wrong foot with a free kick before the referee was ready. Maybe now something a little more direct. Teo Snelders in the Aberdeen goal has been a superb successor to Jim Leighton. This is Ferguson. Oh, it ricocheted through the wall, but was shepherded back to Snelders by McKimmie.
He's such an imposing goalkeeper, Pierce Snelders. When you see somebody trying to take a free kick from 30 yards against him, you think, well, no chance.
Brown's header. McKimmie. Now Grant. Kane, one of the quartet in midfield for Aberdeen. Jim Bett hoping to pull the strings in that department. Tenkat on the left. Wright's gone outside him. Here's Grant. Gordon, 4 up for Rangers suddenly. Well, Gordon trying to get the better here of Stephen Wright, who's a youngster who really has impressed Andy Roxburgh. Quite an examination of his skills as a left-back, facing Dale Gordon here. The two are close together at Gary Stevens' long throw, which Goff competes for. Spackman. Now Goff. Irvin in the way, 2 against 2. But the ball will carry on through to Andy Gorham. Robertson. Mark Haitley, not yet a real force in the game, but plenty of time for that. Tenkat, nimbly done. Bett, just offside. Scott Booth. Well, Willie Miller pledged that Aberdeen would come here and attack. Certainly they'll be happy to do that on the break if they can draw Rangers forward. It's a foul by Smith on a complaining McCoist.
Yeah, this was a... No, I don't think there was a great deal on that one at all. The referees gave a free kick in a dangerous situation when you think of the aerial threat of Haitley and Richard Goff.
Mark Haitley's missed 7 matches. But he's back in an area now that he knows best, making a move. Had a set-piece situation here. Taken by Gordon. And it was John Brown whose presence unsettled Aberdeen. He's a very determined character, and that quality was reflected in his movement towards the free kick then. He repositions on the edge of the area and gets to it as well. But that was the main achievement.
Well, set pieces against Aberdeen tonight could spell them trouble, because looking around their side, they've really only got Brian Irvine, who's physical and big, certainly in the back four, and in fact their whole team.
Booth operating behind. The flick on, the game stopped as the linesman flags, and a first opportunity to locate David Livingston, who as usual is down between the dugouts. David.
Martin behind the Aberdeen dugout, and Willie Miller obviously as a central defender of some pedigree, with his old mate Alec McLeish alongside, have clearly recognised the difficulties in defence for Aberdeen with an inexperienced back four against this experienced Rangers front attacking force. And Dale Gordon has been causing some problems, as you said, by changing positions, but they seem to have settled on the advice that Brian Irvine should stay with Haitley. It's the only logical thing they can do, but they're clearly very concerned.
Wright's header. Here's Stevens. Gordon. Wright's tackled, and then Ten-Cat. Well, the crowd at the Rangers support not too happy with the way Ten-Cat went down here, as if he said, well, I felt that, I'll make sure the referee doesn't miss the push. But I think it's quite rightly given as a foul and a free kick, which Wright takes. Aberdeen have gone 5 games without a win, but you can use statistics whichever way you like. The last 3 away games, they scored 9 goals. It's been a run of disappointments up in the northeast that really led in the end to a change of management.
Well, Rangers taking a little chance there again, pushing out, but in actual fact Davy Robertson stayed behind a little bit there, and Richard Gough was none too happy with him.
Gough takes the free kick. Haitley angles it on. McCoist reacting to it. And the referee reacting to a dive from McCoist. And if he hasn't got the nerve to question the referee's decision, you can be absolutely sure that it wasn't a foul.
Yeah, the ball's running away from Ali here. He gets his foot hit, but I mean, there's a nice little stumbled and fell forward. We'll call it a stumble anyway.
Ten-Cat. Gough pursued by Booth. Stevens, who once more is showing admirable consistency for Rangers at right back. Grant, helped out by Kane, who's come back to Scotland this season from Oldham, a short spell in England. Smith. Wright launching it into the space behind Gary Stevens. And John Brown came in pretty abruptly on Booth in the first place. The decision is a corner. It could easily have been a free kick.
Yeah, Brown chases and harries him, but he pushes him in the back a little here, but eventually I think the ball comes off Booth for a Rangers goal kick. It's a corner kick nevertheless.
A compromise decision, really. I don't think John Brown could have complained if a free kick had been given against him. So back to take it. That was Gary Smith who tried to help it on. Rangers appealing that there might have been a spot of holding. Here's McCoist and Wright, and the help in the end from Ten-Cat, but the crowd lifted by Ali McCoist running then. A moment earlier, Aberdeen had some arms raised, wondering whether George Smith might have spotted an infringement following that near-post corner. And he has now, and it's Dale Gordon backing in.
Yeah, I think the Rangers supporters behind that goal and Dale Gordon felt that Stephen Wright was hanging on to Dale Gordon. But George Smith gave the decision out of the way, seeing Dale Gordon was backing into Stephen Wright. I think a bit of both.
Apart from the architectural beauty of this ground, where Dale Gordon is feeling very much at home, although he wasn't...
yeah, just a little bit of pushing and jostling here, and who's holding who here, I'm not quite sure.
What I was going to say about the ground is the sound is amplified, it seems. The crowd probably just short of 40,000, and it sounds like 60 or 70,000 when Rangers are on the move as they are here with Haitley. He wants to get into the game. He's been just on the fringes so far.
This is not something you see Mark Haitley doing too often. Obviously, he's usually in the centre of the box for crosses coming in. Long-range effort. Struck it quite well, but well wide of the mark.
"20 minutes to go to half-time. But given Aberdeen's recent upheavals, given that there is an air of inexperience, particularly about the left side of their defence, with the left central defender Gary Smith and Stephen Wright, but they have got very lively attackers in Booth and Jess.
Well, that was the situation I mentioned earlier about the Rangers back four trying to play square and push out. They could get caught if they continue to play that ploy tonight, and nearly get caught there.
It's a wasted cross by Ten Cat, steered away by Spackman. Haitley was waiting, Wright wasn't. Ten Cat has another chance. They're not the tallest, the two in the middle. That was a sensible ball in the circumstances. Grant trying to play it into Jess's feet, and they're in behind him now, Hallström. Letting McCoist run. Might have fallen a little more fortunately for Ali McCoist then. It was a rather speculative ball from Hallström. Peter Hallström, who's back in the side tonight in place of, let's say, Mikhailichenko. Ferguson went in, and then Hallström. Oh, it looked as though he'd been struck by something then, or maybe a... Well, not as just went, it was a...
I think he might have caught his studs in the ground there and went over on his knee. It's a peculiar one. Hopefully he's all right.
Tells us something about the texture of the surface after all the rain. But Mikhailichenko was just beginning to find the sort of form Rangers expected of him, with those two crucial goals in their last match to turn around the cup tie against Motherwell here. And then he went away with the Commonwealth of Independent States, the former Soviet Union, to Valencia for an international last week. Was injured in training, didn't play in the international, and isn't available because of that injury tonight. Here's Booth. Spackman, who does so much unspectacular work but necessary graft in midfield. Stevens. First coming for the ball to feet. The interception for Aberdeen by McKimmie. But David Robertson quite able there to cope with Ian Jess making up the ground behind him.
He's going to take a pacey forward to get in behind David Robertson, because really is a player with tremendous pace.
Irvin in the wars again. Well, he knew it was going to be a battle from the moment Mark Hateley's name was put on the Rangers team sheet. Jess trying to catch Rangers square again.
Yeah, well offside there. Gary Stevens pushed the line up, spotted it well, pushed out. The linesman was 100% correct.
Hateley trying to set up Ferguson, but Aberdeen were a bit too canny to let that happen. Oh, well, that went down. Spackman has the shot. It was a responsible try as Rangers redouble their efforts here. I think Bet might have complained that just before that he was tripped. The referee didn't see it.
Yeah, it's not something Nigel Spackman does. That's scored a lot of goals, and as you can see why. But he certainly makes up for that with his industry in midfield.
Oh, Stevens has let go then, and he's missed it. Well, I can remember Gary Stevens making an error similar to that in a Scottish Cup final a couple of years ago. I can't remember another one in between.
Yeah, well, on that occasion, Joe Miller punished, but on this occasion, Scott Muth just tries to bend it around Andy Gorham a bit and doesn't quite get it right. But it's I think he tried to bring it down initially. I don't think he attempted to pass back, but it just ran away from him a little bit. Booth was quick and alert onto it and just swerved it round the left-hand post.
Well, you could see as the ball was dropping, Booth was prepared to gamble that Stevens might make a mistake. He won that part of it, but having been presented with the ball, the chance was there, and Aberdeen might regret not taking it. 15 minutes to go to half-time. A very relieved Gary Stevens. It's a free kick to Aberdeen, taken by Smith. Brown's header, not really decisively clearing the danger. He was helped by Ferguson. Hateley, that's a lovely touch. Halstra, involving Hateley again. Gordon through the middle, McCoist is getting there as well. And Hateley gets it across. It needed some defending. And McKimmie, I think it was, who came all the way from right to this near post. Back from Spackman. This is Hateley once and twice, and Gordon. Then Grant away for Aberdeen. Clever work from Jess. Aberdeen trying to land a counter-punch here. Grant, who scored in the 2-0 success in September on this ground, was going for a ball there, really, that he probably wasn't entitled to attack in that run with Goff. And it's a free kick against Brian Grant, and a little calming word from George Smith. Yes. It's Ferguson's ball. It's McCoist. Oh, and it's still McCoist. Ferguson. Well, there have been so many landmarks for Ali McCoist in terms of goal scoring that you really expected his 200th league goal to arrive then.
Yeah, and he made that one for himself here. Shrugs off the defender. Little shimmy, but a great block with Gary Smith. Just sticks his leg out and the ball ricochets off it. Ali tries a little trick here, set up another player, but shot way over.
It certainly shows how defenders, even when things are going wrong, when he's beaten there, should never give it up. That could well have been a goal, but for Smith's intervention in the end. 10 count. And a miss hit by Stephen Wright. Hateley. Irvin really mishit that one, and actually winced as he did so, having picked up a couple of injuries already, and now there's another problem for Aberdeen. Scott Booth has gone off behind the goal. This is Gordon as the game goes on. Aberdeen having to not just take on the top team in the league, in the land, north of the border, but also this phenomenal support as well. Halstra, Hakely, McCoist, and then Snelders. They're beginning to find a way through.
Yeah, play raging from one end to another. Ali very close again with some good defending, but what I don't think we'll see is Scott Booth, who was involved in an incident at the other end. And this is a great little 1-2 here. It just bobbles a bit away from Ali, and a good recovery tackle by Gary Smith. But I don't think we'll see Scott Booth taking any more part in this game.
Well, this is very sad for Aberdeen. Willie Miller now has to react to the sight of a striker coming off on a stretcher here. He's got Paul Mason on the bench, who's the more likely to come on. David Winnie, a defender, is the other substitute.
There's really nothing in this at all. It doesn't look as if there's any physical contact made. He sprints onto it, and it looks very much like to me as if he's pulled his hamstring. And in fact, in actual fact, that's what it is. He's definitely pulled his hamstring. There's no broken bones, thankfully. He just pulled a bad muscle. It's a bad muscle injury.
Well, Paul Mason comes on. The former Everton apprentice who gave up the game professionally, went to work in Holland where his brother had a job, started playing football again there, and ended up playing in the Dutch First Division where he caught Aberdeen's eye. McCoist, beaten to it by Bett. He's only knocked it to make it awkward for Smith. Aberdeen, you feel, struggling at the moment. Stevens. Here's Halstra. And there was a tangle as the ball dropped that saw Hakely down on the ground. That's why the crowd were calling. Mason not attuned to the pace of the match as yet. Halstra. Here's Goff. McCoist was tripped then by Irvin. Right on the edge of the D.
Well, the game's certainly getting a little bit hectic. Just before that, with a little incident with McKimmie and Hakely at the back post. This time Irvin in and just clipping McCoy's heels, and this is a really dangerous situation for Aberdeen.
7 minutes to go to half-time. And Rangers now assessing their options. The first job for Snelders to get his line of defenders exactly where he wants them. Rangers trying to distract by placing Hakely and Gordon in amongst the wall. We're still waiting for Ali McCoist to get back on his feet. He's ready now. Halstra. A little Dutch duel then. But Snelders untroubled.
Yeah, he just gets under it a little bit. Yeah, never really troubled Theo Snelders, that one. You've really got to hit them with a little bit of pace as well, or they don't get past the goalkeeper. And sometimes when you try to do that, you tend to balloon them over the bar.
Aberdeen standing fifth in the table. By their standards, that's disappointing. They have won more games away than they have at home. had some promising moments here at Ibrox, but they've been unsettled by the loss of Booth. And also you feel that Rangers roared forward here, have exerted themselves a little more over the last 10 minutes or so. But they did survive the slip by Gary Stevens, and that was Scott Booth's one chance for the evening. Here's Gordon. Have to do better than that against the goalkeeper of Snelder's calibre.
Well, they're certainly getting into more attacking positions, Rangers, but he never really caught this one at all, Dale Gordon. As you say, it needs to be something a bit better than that to beat a goalkeeper of Theo Snelder's class.
But the shots are all coming in at Snelder's end of the ground at the moment. And more of the free kicks are going the way of Rangers, which is another indication of the balance of power. 5 minutes to go to half-time. McCoist, here's Stevens. Hately already jogging towards the far post. Spackman in there as well. Stevens going on. Halstra. Smith tried to run it to safety, and the ball went back in behind him, but Aberdeen coped with that. Goff. Another sharp piece of defending by Wright. Aberdeen's target at the moment to reach half-time at 0-0. Bet. Not allowed to pick his pass, although Kane did rather better. Tenkat, no match on that occasion for Stevens. Occasion in Glasgow making particularly interesting viewing in Edinburgh from the Hearts' point of view. They want Aberdeen to stand their corner. Stevens, Tenkat, now Bet. Rangers battering away. Tenkat. This is where Aberdeen might just catch Rangers out. They do have the willingness to get the numbers forward. It was Kane through the middle then. He was supported by Jess and also by Mason coming from the right-hand side. Three minutes to go to half-time. It might be a long 3 minutes for Aberdeen. Hately. Gary Stevens with a chance for the long throw here. Goff already chasing into the centre. Have a look towards Hately as well, who's standing right on the goal line. Can't be offside, of course. On the goal line, outside the post, that is. You'd expect Stevens to hurl it right into the middle of the goal.
Well, I think Rangers are beginning to assert their authority now. I mean, in the first half, the game really has been a little bit scrappy and a bit hectic at times, but certainly Rangers look the most likely. But Willie Miller must be well pleased the way his back four have stood firm. As you mentioned, I'm sure Joe Jordan must be as well.
Halstra's corner. Up goes Hately. Oh, off the line. It was Paul Mason, I think it was, who soared by the post then, the substitute, with a superb clearance.
Yeah, well cleared. It was a great leap by Mark Hately here. Yeah, and the substitute Paul Mason plays his part there.
Hately up again, having been denied a goal. Well, that's why they put defenders on the posts, but the ball just under the bar. You wouldn't have been surprised if Mason had struggled to reach it. Terrific play from both players. Robertson. Now Gordon. Hately. There's a man over here. It's Peter Halstra. Well, he got to the ball, but there wasn't a goal at the end of it for him. Snelder's came, couldn't claim,
Yeah, I think Aberdeen will be desperate to hear this half-time whistle, so Willie Miller can reorganise his men. Snelders come pushing out here. Tustra just tries to scoop it over him, but just get a little bit under it again.
Well, that certainly tells the story of the mounting Rangers' productivity. Bet hasn't had a chance to control the game in midfield. That was a fair tackle on Spackman. Goff's header, Stevens.
Yeah, it was a fair tackle by Brian Irvine, but it was also a terrific one. In actual fact, he's played superbly well at the heart of the Aberdeen defence, and it's been a battle royal with him and Mark Haitley.
Haitley gets the better of him then. The referee allowing the game to go on. The crowd feeling that Haitley was foul, but having got his head to it, and it had fallen Rangers' way. But here's Jess. 10 cat. He just wanted just too much time then. And Rangers in both the halves of the pitch moving very swiftly at the moment. They've improved their pace and their application as the half has gone on. And you would feel, certainly Walter Smith would feel, that they deserve some reward from it. But they're running out of time to get it before half-time. Brown's free kick. Oh, and Haitley came in. The outcome is a corner.
Yeah, this one nearly snicked into the back post. John Brown's free kick here. Ali McCoy and Gary Smith block. And McKimmie just turns it away for a corner.
The half-time whistle has gone. It's 0-0 at Ibrox. Mark Haitley came closest to providing a goal with a superb header, brilliantly stopped on the line by Paul Mason, who's come on for the unfortunate Scott Booth, who had Aberdeen's best chance after a mistake by Gary Stevens. 0-0 at Ibrox. Join us again after the break.
Paul McStay at Celtic, they're probably the two most creative players in the country, but of course Jim Bett turned Rangers down last year when he had the opportunity to come and join or rejoin Rangers.
So here's McKimmie. The Aberdeen defenders certainly pleasing their manager, I'm sure, in the first half, and the Jess coming out with a bright start to the second half. Now, Willie Miller was such a tough character as a player, and I'm sure as he learns about management he'll be a demanding man as well. They always used to say, as a player, he refereed the game whenever he could. He might find that a bit harder to do from the bench.
No doubt he'll have a go.
Here's Mason. Nice touch from Houstra, steered forward by Spackman. Haitley is offside. David Livingston's been checking out the damage to Scott Booth. A quick word from David.
Yeah, Martin, I spoke to the physio, and it seems it's a hamstring injury, but perhaps not quite so bad as it looked. He hasn't certainly gone to a hospital or anything like that. It just looked particularly painful, but not particularly complicated, it seems.
Again, on a heavy pitch, the greater risk of muscle strains. I don't think the pitch has cut up quite as much as the players expected it to do. Ferguson will, I would suspect, see plenty of Gary Stevens forward in the second half. Aberdeen struggling to control him here. Spackman. McCoy's calling for it in the centre. Tenkat trying to prevent the ball coming in, but they let Houstra drift in behind them. Grant's header partially clearing the danger. Here's Tenkat again. Rangers throw. Hateley. It was that long Stevens throw again towards Hateley, coming off the goal line itself to try and steer it across, knowing that the laws of the game say that he can't be offside direct from a throw. That was Tenkat. Hateley trying to muscle a position, the crowd feeling that he, in fact, was muscled out of it. Nicely steered off by Kane, and it wasn't Mason, the number 14, who was offside, but Ian Jess, who was infield of him, and at the crucial moment ahead of him.
You mentioned, Martin, about Gary Stevens pushing forward in this half. It really has been a feature of Rangers play this Rangers play this season. Stevens getting forward and Robertson getting forward, but they've not been able to do that tonight, with Aberdeen playing 4 across the middle and making it difficult for them.
It's Tenkat who's trying to stop Gary Stevens, and Paul Mason on the right of midfield, keeping an eye on David Robertson, with the utility man, Paul Kane, playing up the middle with Jess. McKimmie. Just slipping past Brown, but Goff too strong for Kane. It's a miss-hit by McKimmie, really. And then Jess, who started with Rangers on schoolboy forms, but wasn't taken on at Ibrox. But he certainly was properly penalised then as he tried to throw his weight around. Not the biggest of strikers, not by any means. Quite in the Mark Hateley style. So a first half in which Rangers gradually gained control, but were restricted for the most part to shots around the edge of the area. Challenged on a couple of occasions by McCoy's, and then Hateley's header. Aberdeen trying to play on the break, and they've got a free kick now. Goff might need some treatment.
Yeah, it looked as if it might have been a little bit of a foul by Paul Kane in the first place previous to that, but that was just a nasty collision with no real intent on Richard Goff's behalf. But Aberdeen have got the free kick nevertheless.
It was partly physical pain for Goff, and I suspect mental pain as well, because he feels that Rangers were a bit hard done by that. He's back in position now. Well, Tenkat eyeing the angle with his left foot in mind, but Jim Bet is there as well, and it's left for Bet. Ian Jess left ruminating, a header that should, from his point of view, gone back across goal and just plopped out of play.
Yeah, it was a nicely worked free kick with Tenkat running over the ball, and Ian Jess making a run from a central position at the back post, and wasn't really picked up, and it was a poor header. Should have directed that one across goals.
And Jess again, who's developing a meaner streak to his play. George Smith, first of all, dealing with the foul, and then having spoken to the culprit for that, turning to Kane, who obviously had his say.
Yeah, that was more of a stumble than anything else by Richard Goff. No real intent again, being Jess.
Hateley. And Rangers capitalise on these little nicks and flicks. Now the referee here has seen a high tackle by Ferguson, I think it was. Ian Ferguson went in, and referee George Smith straight away appreciated the severity of the incident here. Stephen Wright is the Aberdeen player who cleared the ball, and there was no need for Ferguson to do that.
Well, I think he must be quite happy with a booking there, because it was very late indeed in closing Stephen Wright down there for that clearance, and lifted his boot far too high.
Well, one would say he had time to pull out if he wanted to.
Yeah, but 5 minutes.
And John Brown calming him down. There's a poacher turned gamekeeper for a moment. Right is back on his feet quicker than perhaps one would have anticipated. Certainly was a high challenge that could have left a very definite mark on the Aberdeen left back. Brown first to the ball. Here's Mason. Remember, in these meetings between the two sides this season, it's been the away team that's come out on top on every occasion. Twice Rangers have won at Pittodrie to the satisfaction of David Robertson, I'm sure. And Aberdeen won 2-0 here at the end of September. Goals from Brian Grant and Ian Jess. That's a push by Wright on Gordon.
Well, I think Dale Gordon finds life much easier away from Ibrox, where teams tend to, Ibrox certainly, get a lot of players behind the ball, and it makes it difficult for wide players. No sooner have they beat one player than another player's closing them down.
McCoist. Well, with concentration all around Haitley then. McCoist was first to the free kick.
Yeah, a little bit of slack marking there, but young Gary Smith gave Ali a free header, but the ball came over far too fast for him to do anything with it. And couldn't really guide the header.
Goff well above Kane. Grant. And Brown pleased that Goff filled in behind him. Spackman, every challenge at the moment is particularly fierce. Rangers trying to reassert themselves at the start of the second half, and Willie Miller has sent his team out here with a most determined attitude. The side cast in the manager's own image. George Smith with his hands full at the moment. McCoist. That's Ferguson, who turned away towards the referee, feeling that there might have been a deflection then. We might be able to prove that one way or the other.
Yeah, John Brown floats a long free kick in. They're up scrapping for it. Haitley just lays it back. Yeah, it might have took a deflection off his chest there, or even his arm for that matter.
It's off Brian Grant, I think. Grant again. They're angry on the Aberdeen dugout with Mark Haitley. Whether he left a foot in then as the ball was cleared.
Well, I think when players are too physical, players such as Mark Haitley and Brian Irvine are fighting for balls, there's always a chance there's going to be elbows flying. And it's very difficult to say from this angle whether that was an intentional elbow on Mark Haitley's behalf. But certainly it floored Brian Irvine, whatever it was.
I think it was certainly that first incident. Haitley was around the ball after it had dropped as well, as they stood up on the Aberdeen bench to bellow their protests. Here's Stevens. Hard for control football to surface in this intimidating atmosphere at the moment. Oh, but Ferguson almost found a way through as Rangers got back to the job in hand. Very much in fine style. It was very neatly constructed, this.
Yeah, lovely little bit of football. Lovely turn, and he just slides Ian Ferguson in here. He gets in front of the defender. And a great diving block with Theo Snell does. Here it is again. Lovely little flip from Ali. Barges his way through Ian Ferguson. Great goalkeeping.
And that was Ferguson using his strength properly then. Coming through on the burst. But Snell just did his job. Aberdeen are still holding Rangers. Bet takes the free kick. Kane trying to nip in behind Goff. No flag from the linesman, the ball has stayed in play. Mason! Well, that looked as though it might have been goal-bound. Paul Mason's done that before. It really was an instinctive reaction as the ball dropped on his left side and he blazed away on the half volley.
Yeah, didn't half crack this one. Who does it hit off? Yes. That's Gary Stevens in the face.
Possibly from that angle might have just been veering wide. But Aberdeen reminding Rangers that the home side here have got to think about defending as well as breaking down determined opposition.
Yeah, it's all very hurried at this moment in time. It needs one or two players, Jim Bett, Ian Ferguson, Nigel Spackman, to try and put their foot in the ball and slow things down a bit and start playing a bit more football.
Astra. Haitley. He's never frightened of shooting when the ball comes to his left foot. And he relished the opportunity as Houstra knocked it inside to him. Actually, he did have more time, but that's easy to say afterwards. If it had flown into the top corner, he'd still be doing a lap of honour. And Robertson with the speed there to really make Mason give up the chase. Well, Spackman has had a blow in the face. No doubt about that. There's the evidence. Well, the Premier League in Scotland does have a reputation for hurly-burly. An athletic game where there aren't too many occasions where the purists are totally satisfied, but it's very entertaining viewing in its way if you've got a strong constitution. Gorham comes with the fist. 10 cut. Oh, and if Jess could have hauled that one in, then Rangers might have had a problem. Ferguson have to hold a little in midfield at the moment. Gordon's coming alongside him in the absence of Spackman. Ian Durant is warming up along with the other substitutes, Paul Rideout, who was brought here because of Haitley's injury problems and has, by all accounts, and by Mark Haitley's own account, been playing well as Haitley's deputy. So we've had an hour. Most of it, or more of it, should I say, in Rangers' favour. But they haven't got the goal that their pressure has threatened to produce. And that will worry Walter Smith and his assistant, Archie Knox. Haitley, not much movement that time, but of course, Rangers not wanting to overcommit forward from midfield at the moment. Houstra finding himself on the right against Gary Smith, and still with the ball until he goes down, but that's not a trip. Rules George Smith. Mason. Brown comes across. There's a little ball on here for Gordon, but John Brown just put too much pace into the pass. Off the pitch because blood was spilt, and that needs to be cleared up under the medical regulations. Stevens. Here's McCoist. Stevens again. Gordon. McCoist had gone inside him, and Richard Gough is there as well. Can Haitley knock this one back across? He does. Ferguson, it's wide. It's a corner though. Richard Gough played a major part then with his back to goal. Ferguson says thank you for teeing it up.
Yeah, it was a lovely build-up, deep cross from Dale Gordon on the right. Great knockback to Mark Hateley. Gough tees it up for Ian Ferguson, but way off target with his shot.
Ferguson waiting on the edge of the area. Gough is poised. Hateley to come in as well. Gordon is there. Aberdeen have pulled everyone back. Halstra to take the corner. Ferguson! Well, it sped through the crowd, but to Aberdeen's considerable relief, went on past the pack behind for a goal kick. The roar heralds the return of Spackman. When he turns round, we'll see how they've stemmed the bleeding. Brown with a header, and then Irvin doing likewise. Right, just relieving the pressure, but hoping perhaps the ball might drop kindly for Aberdeen. And good pressing there by Mason. Well, there's a plaster just below the bottom lip there. Nigel Spackman is a very chatty character, and I'm sure that won't stop him passing his comments. Hateley runs off Irvin. 19 minutes gone in the second half. Willie Miller's team continue to defend with a reasonable amount of confidence against the Premier League leaders. Jess, most responsibility really on him to hold the ball up and let Aberdeen draw some breath at the back. Robertson challenges them now. Here's Halstra. Knocked away well by Irvin. Aberdeen naturally do like to play a passing game, as you're just seeing. 10 cut. Not a pass of the high order from Stephen Wright. Whether he would feel he'd expected one of his front players to have filled that space, well, they didn't react. It was a risk, they would have gone offside in any case. 3 up for Rangers. Hateley is one of them. The extra man was McKimmie, offside. McCoist inevitably puts the ball in, but the flag was up before he slammed the ball past Snelders.
Yeah, the flag was up well before, quite some time before Alan McLeod pounced in this, but not a bad little finish.
What do you expect? So he stays on 199. Hateley. Here's Halstra. Trying to trick McKimmie, and he does make a position for the cross. Hateley. Mason very coolly clearing Aberdeen's lines. Hateley way beyond the far post, unselfishly knocked it across goal. Archie Knox is furious with the linesman, who's aided the referee in giving Aberdeen a free kick.
I can understand him being furious. It's a really peculiar decision.
McKimmie. Jess. Only Kane really in the centre for Aberdeen. 2 others thinking about getting there now, including Tenkat. Jess has lost out and he's flung himself down. He won't get anything there. Hateley. McCoy's trying to stay onside. He's done that. Oh, unlucky. He knew Gordon was running. Hoped that there would be enough pace for the ball to reach him.
I must say I've been impressed with Gary Smith at the heart of the Aberdeen defence tonight. he's not played that many games since signing from Falkirk, but he's played with a lot of composure for a youngster tonight and played particularly well, as has Stephen Wright, who's moved into a position in the left back role that's alien to him.
Well, for so long it was McLeish and Miller in there with Irvine the understudy. Now Brian Irvine very much one of the main men. And Gary Smith's taking a major claim here to impress a manager who knows absolutely everything there is to know about that particular job. I just wonder what Walter Smith is thinking at the moment. The match has reached the three-quarter mark. It's certainly not one you want to turn your eyes away from. Anything can happen in an instant. Goff. It's not the wisest part of the pitch to show his ball juggling skills, but the Rangers managed to get the ball forward in the end. Spackman, very brave in the circumstances, having had that bang in the face. Here's Houstra. Robertson outside him. Houstra can go for goal, and Snelders was moving to his right and suddenly found the ball coming more to his left, but he repositioned and now the game is stopped. It's a free kick to Aberdeen.
Well, I think everybody's expecting a little cross to the back post here where Mark Hateley's looking. But he decides to have a shot. Strikes it really well, nearly deceived Theo Snelders. But Mark Hateley in a good position in the back post. I don't think he was too happy.
No shortage of shots from Rangers, but not one of them has produced a goal. Gary Stevens was the player singled out incidentally by the referee after a little skirmish on the far side while we were analysing the effort from Houstra. Hateley. Well, there haven't been too many cracks in front of Theo Snelders. Aberdeen sticking to their task. A draw would be a most pleasurable result for them in the circumstances. And maybe more than that, as Mason takes it up for them here. And goes on. And it was Kane who was alongside him. Possibly in the end got a little too close and didn't have enough time to really pull the right foot back to get full venom into the shot.
Yeah, it was a little snack shot here coming up, and as you say, he couldn't really get his leg behind the ball and get any power behind it.
Spackman, wholeheartedly again. Brown coming across Ian Jess then. Jess was angry. Brown blocked him off. Irvine, most solid header. Neatly done by Kane, the makeshift striker. Here's McKimmie. Not surprisingly, there have been a number of players with bumps and bruises in this game. The latest is Brian Grant, who's just able to make an intervention then, but he's still limping. Tripped by Houstra. Aberdeen wondering whether they might get the referee's blessing to attend to Grant. They're telling him to get down from the bench.
Yeah, I think the game's went a little bit scrappy and a little bit physical, which is a great shame because we're watching two sides here that are capable of playing splendid football. That's not really been the case tonight. It's been more of a battle.
I think this was the foul by Houstra on Mason. I think the feeling after the most recent meeting between the two sides up at Pittodrie last month in the Scottish Cup, and it was a feeling shared by the then Aberdeen manager Alex Smith, that his players didn't quite make enough of a fight of it then.
Well, they're certainly
doing it tonight, yeah.
Well, they're certainly doing it for Willie Miller. I think that's the one thing that he must be delighted with tonight, the commitment his players have shown him.
Scott Booth very gingerly joining those in the dugout now. Well, it was a shame, a great shame for Aberdeen that his part in the match ended so prematurely. Bet to take the free kick. Coming towards Irvine. There's a fine jump by Stevens. Bet. Irvine stayed up there, giving the Rangers something to think about. Ferguson's flick. Irvine out of position at the moment. Stevens. Aberdeen have their full complement now in the centre of defence, but they're being pulled wide by Goff's initiative. Oh, and he was absolutely sure that that was going to be a corner. Rangers are taking off Dale Gordon. Well, the number 7 board was held up, and the game was quickly restarted, so Ian Durrant will have to wait. Right. Now they can make the change. Well, Dale Gordon was taken off in the last game against Motherwell. Ian Durrant, who has had such a fight against that dreadful knee injury, which of course was sustained playing at Aberdeen back in 1988, and the crowd always recognising his efforts to make a comeback every time he's involved. Haitley. McKimmie. Here's 10 Cat for Aberdeen. And they are well represented in the middle if the Dutchman can play across them, which was in the end beyond him, with 15 minutes to go. Gordon, what do you make of the Rangers substitution?
Well, I think we mentioned earlier they maybe lacked a little bit of guile in the middle of the park. Rangers, well, they brought Ian Durrant on, and he certainly is a man with tremendous skill, a man that makes great forward runs and gets into good scoring positions. Maybe not fully recovered from his injury yet. Obviously, that will take a long, long time. But as you heard the roar when he went onto the park, he's a hugely popular player here.
Paul Rideout is also going through his warming-up routine, because Rangers need a goal. Halstra. That was a most elusive piece of work from him, and McCoy's tried to let it run. And there was some impeding done then by Ferguson.
Well, the ball broke. Jim Beck got the film. The ball broke in his favour there, but I don't think he was too concerned, because really Aberdeen, there's an awful lot of Aberdeen players behind Jim Beck, and looking up, there was 2 Aberdeen players up front and something like 5 Rangers players facing him. So I think he was quite happy to get told back by referee George Smith to where the foul was committed.
Mark Haitley might need a match or two after his layoff to get back to full sharpness. Rideout is to come on. It's possible, of course, he might be a direct replacement for Haitley, or they might really go the aerial route.
Yeah, well, it looks like they've pushed Ian Durrant up widest left and switched Houstra over to the right wing. And if they're hoping to get crosses in, maybe Paul Rideout's the man to go up and partner Mark Haitley.
Robertson. Here's Spackman. McKimmie. He certainly held his own at right back for Aberdeen, as one would expect from a regular international player. His old partner, David Robertson, helping out Rangers then. Halstra, left-footed, but given a job at the moment on the right-hand side. McCoist is offside. And down by the bench, Davy Dodds, one of the coaches here, and Archie Knox looked away in disappointment then. Jess, here's Kane. He's got a bit to do. Jess is there to help him. Tenkat coming into the centre. Aberdeen know they won't get too many moments to snatch a winner, but when there is one around, they're prepared to gamble and react quickly in getting players into the Rangers penalty area and make the most of the chance. Well, it's another fine crowd in this fabulous stadium. Stevens. Here's a ground that may be used a little bit more by Scotland. With the World Cup qualifiers coming up later in the year. Ferguson. Robertson trying to set up, but Ian Jess had covered him. And Robertson's gone wider now, and he can be used by Spackman. Aiming for Haitley. Was excellent defensive duty again from Gary Smith. Goff. Durant allowed to turn. He likes to shoot from long range. He can also find a pass for Haitley's head. Robertson bounced behind off McKimmie. Corner to Rangers. "11 minutes left. Durant's corner. Over Haitley. Halstra looping it back in again. John Brown. Well stopped. At a fairly comfortable height for Snelders. Once he was in the right position, his positioning was very important here, as well as his stretching.
Yeah, Hoyser just flicks it up there and he tries the loopy header, but Theo Snelders maybe a yard or two off his line.
Robertson, but they get it away through Grant. Aberdeen pen back at the moment. McCoist. Well, this is the time when sides which have the stamp of champions might just assert their quality. Rangers looking to win the league for a 4th consecutive year. Haitley, and now Goff. Brown! Well, there was some sort of barrier there for Aberdeen. Spackman. 10 players in red. All back in their own penalty area, and there were enough in the way of Brown's volley. Here's Jess, now Spackman. Grant, held up by Goff. Haitley, was that handball? No. Gary Smith taking it on the torso. Grant. Tenkat giving him an angle, and now Kane in the centre. Jess coming in as well. And David Robertson, coolness itself. Particularly after what happened to Gary Stevens in the first half.
Yeah, I think Aberdeen now will be looking to get the ball up to the strikers. For them to hold on to it and just give them a little bit of breathing space at the back, because Rangers are putting a lot of pressure on Aberdeen.
Rangers have put a lot of effort into the game. But it's still Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0. McKimmie. Betts springing ahead of him. Jess infield. Got the run of the ball against Spackman. Oh, and Tenkat didn't want to have to go this wide then. He's taken some of the menace for the moment out of the move. But he'll get his cross in. Jess. Oh, Ferguson. That's a moment of potential embarrassment for Ian Ferguson. It is a corner.
Yeah, the desperate swipe at the ball there, not realising that there was nobody around about him at all. He trying to control that one.
So Jim Bett taking all the time he can to get over for the corner. Being encouraged now by the referee to buck his ideas up, otherwise he'll be in trouble for time wasting. Here's McKimmie. Mason. Irvin still in the centre. Brown is there. Spackman, there's only one ball out for Rangers. It involves Ali McCoist. It was well played too. McCoist has to get support from a deeper position in Durant. But Aberdeen were a bit stretched for a moment. Halstra. Now Stevens. Spackman. They've been banging away at the door, Rangers. And Haitley very nearly went across the threshold. Snelders right on the line.
Yeah, it's a terrific cross. Goes to cross it was like dummies. It's in a nice cross with his right foot. Haitley a good head and Snelders well smashing save by the goalkeeper.
He was right back on his own line, Theo Snelders, when he got his hands to the ball there. But it looked for a second as though Haitley's header would find its way through. This terrific resistance from Aberdeen. Team from the Granite City really showing some steel. Well, it's the type of performance, mostly a rearguard action, that Willie Miller, the player, would have very much enjoyed being a part of. But as a manager, he'll be anxiously counting the seconds away, because Aberdeen aren't away from here with a point as yet. And David Robertson goes again. Has to settle for giving away the throw. Durant very snappily on the scene to get the game restarted. Ferguson. It's asking a lot of Stevens, even his sprinting ability not up to that.
Yeah, I think we've mentioned the Aberdeen back four tonight, and rightly so. They've played magnificently well, but also their midfield have closed Rangers down very quickly tonight and not really let Nigel Spackman, Ian Durant now, Ian Ferguson get the type of service into the strikers that they would like.
And when the outfield players have been found wanting, this fella's done his job.
Yeah, he's not a bad goalkeeper, I tell you.
One thing that Alex Smith can be proud of, the players like Snelders that he brought to the club, who will go on after his time as manager. Halstra. Here's McCoist. Goff is right up there. Haitley coming in, and it ran off Mason for a corner. Almost a case of Aberdeen getting too many players in there. Mason believed that he'd actually spared Aberdeen this anxiety, but a corner it is. Haitley. Tenkat and Irvin getting in each other's way. Durant. Snelders will come, and There's nothing Rangers could do about that. But what Aberdeen are continuing to do is recognise this opportunity of catching Rangers out and turning 1 point into 2. George Smith actually helping Rangers unwittingly then, but it won't leave him red-faced because McCoist was offside.
Well, they were under tremendous pressure there, Aberdeen, but I'll tell you, they didn't have great forward in numbers when the ball broke up the other end of the park. But
well, he's very close, Willie Miller, to completing a satisfactory first night as a manager. They've certainly battled for him, the team wearing red. Brown. 2 minutes to go. Right tackle. Hopefully giving away a free kick, and Rangers really haven't got much time to be doing that, given their ambition for victory. It isn't, we must say, a major setback were they to drop a point. It will certainly keep Hearts very interested. This is Kane. Grant's got into the box, and Robertson saw him coming. Ten Cats cross. Grant, Mason coming in, one number 14 dealing with another though, Ian Durant. Well, not too many of the crowd have left, and the huge Rangers support hoping for a sting in the tail. Well, as long as it happens at this end of the ground, of course. Hateley, beaten by McKimmie. Ranging forward here is Paul Mason. Ferguson stops him. Irvin. Back it can go. But there haven't been too many negative thoughts in the Aberdeen minds. They've obviously been pressed back as they would expect here. But when a raid has been on, they've recognised it. But now it's just a matter of running down the clock.
yeah, I think Aberdeen take the honours this evening. All in all, it's if you like your football physical, well, this is a game for you. But personally, I prefer to see a bit more football than has been played tonight. And it's a result that, if it finishes a draw, it'll keep the league championship wide open, and a result that will delight the Hearts management, players and supporters. And of course Willie Miller as well, he must be well pleased with his side.
We're into stoppage time now. Kane. Mason making sure that Durant has to play it back. Brown is aware that what space there was along his back line. Halstra. Here's Goff. Typical of the man. He's not settling for a draw at this late stage. And whenever there has been potential for him to join his midfield men and even the strikers, Richard Goff has done it. But for all the effort, for a greater share of the ball, Rangers haven't broken down Aberdeen. Snelders has had to make all the difficult saves in the match, but he's manufactured them with high class. Robertson. Now Halstra. Oh, he's turned brilliantly, and Gary Smith, in keeping with a splendid performance, had also turned.
Yeah, terrific little bit of skillway history here, but it doesn't fool Gary Smith. And as you said, he's had a tremendous evening.
Well, no time for the corner to be taken. Willie Miller starts his managerial career, delighted, I'm sure, with a draw here at Ibrox. Only the second point Rangers have dropped in 13 league games. Their margin now over second place Hearts extended to 5. Rangers, you would feel, still on course for a 4th championship in consecutive seasons. But Aberdeen have made a more than useful start to a new era. We'll have a word with Willie Miller, I'm sure, after the break. But at Ibrox it's finished. Rangers 0, Aberdeen 0.